The night Brenda set my crops on fire, she thought she'd finally won. The smell of burning corn filled the air, 3 acres of hard work, my daughter's college tuition turning to ash. But here's the part Brenda never saw coming. I had been waiting for her. What would you do if your neighbor tried to burn down your future? Let me back up and tell you how this nightmare started. My name is Daniel Parker, 3rd-generation farmer on 10 acres in rural Ohio. This farm isn't just land, it's my family's history. My grandfather bought it with $400 and a handshake in 1954. My wife Denise is a 3rd grade teacher, and my twin daughters Sarah and Emma are heading to college. Vet school and engineering. That tuition, paid by every ear of corn I harvest, but not everyone respects that legacy. Enter Brenda Collins, 48 years old, HOA president, real estate agent, and suburban tyrant. The first time she showed up at my door, clipboard in hand, she said, "Hi neighbor, we've had complaints about your old tractor being visible from the street. It hurts property values." I looked at my 1965 John Deere, the same tractor that's worked this land for decades, and said, "Ma'am, that tractor's been here longer than your whole subdivision." Her fake smile twitched. I'd hate for this to become unpleasant. That was my first warning. And trust me, I should have taken it more seriously. Days later, I spotted her with a slick developer in a suit, pointing at my field. "This land is perfect for luxury homes. Don't worry, the farmer won't last long." My stomach turned to ice dot them mid-tax. Started. Irrigation hoses / dot anonymous. Complaints about illegal burning, neighbors, with clipboards snapping photos of my barn like it was a crime scene. One evening, my daughter Emma asked, "Dad, are we going to lose the farm?" I looked at her and lied, "Not on my watch." But inside, I wasn't so sure. That's when I called Jake, my old army buddy turned agricultural lawyer. "Dan," he told me, "document everything. People like Brenda don't stop, they escalate." And he was right, I discovered. Brenda had promised developers a $2.5 million deal on my land. She'd already spent her future commission. If she didn't deliver by October 1st, she owed $50,000 in penalties. She wasn't just greedy, she was desperate. Then came the sabotage. Diesel dumped near my shed. Sugar poured into my tractor fuel tank. Hydraulic lines cut on my harvester. Sabotage. That could have killed me. And the worst of all, a trail of dead corn where someone had sprayed chemicals along my fence line. But I wasn't blind. My trail cameras caught Brenda herself, 2:47 a.m., creeping along my property with a spray bottle of herbicide, her Mercedes parked right at the edge. She documented her own crime. If your neighbor was caught on camera destroying your livelihood, what would you do? That's when I stopped defending and started fighting back. I filed a conservation easement, legally protecting my land forever. Even if I sold, no one could develop it. Her $2.5 million deal, dead on arrival. But I kept that ace hidden. Meanwhile, my cameras and witnesses piled up proof. Photos of vandalism. Brenda bribing neighbors for fake safety violations. Recordings of her private investigator plotting farm accidents. When I showed Denise the evidence, she whispered, "Dan, she's digging her own grave. We just need to help her finish it." Then came the night of fire. My thermal cameras caught two figures, Brenda and her hired thug, sneaking into my cornfield with fuel cans. At 11:52 p.m., her lighter flicked. Flames roared through my crops, but instead of panic, I pressed a button. Within seconds, live footage streamed to the fire department, sheriff's office, and my phone. Sirens wailed in the distance, closing in fast. Imagine Brenda's face when Fire Chief Morrison stepped out of the truck, flames lighting up the sky, and shouted, "Ma'am, step away from the fire line. You're under arrest." But the real bomb dropped later that same night at the packed town council meeting. I stood before my community and revealed the truth. Harold, an old neighbor Brenda had tried to bribe, pulled out a secret recording, Brenda's voice, promising developers my land and whispering that farm accidents happen all the time. Gasps filled the room. And when deputies marched Brenda in, cuffs on her wrists, her mask finally slipped. Brenda Collins, once the queen of the HOA, pleaded guilty to arson, fraud, and conspiracy. 2 years in prison, $60,000 in restitution, real estate license permanently revoked, her mansion foreclosed, her reputation ashes, just like the field she tried to burn. Meanwhile, my family thrived. Insurance and settlements paid for Sarah and Emma's college. Denise became a paralegal, helping other farmers fight harassment. Our county passed new laws protecting farmland from greedy developers. Now, when I walk my fields at sunset, I don't smell smoke. I smell victory. The same land Brenda tried to steal is now protected forever. Some things are worth fighting for: family, land, and justice. Have you ever faced an HOA nightmare? Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear it. And if you believe farmers and families deserve protection from greed, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. Because when ordinary people stand together, even the most powerful bullies learn the same lesson. You don't mess with family, legacy, or the land that feeds us all.